Have you ever met someone who can remember entire books, speeches, or even a long list of random numbers without breaking a sweat? And have you ever wondered why you struggled to remember even what you had for breakfast yesterday? Here's the shocking truth. Your brain is already capable of memorizing almost anything in less than 24 hours. The problem isn't your memory. The problem is that no one ever taught you how to use it the right way. Today, I'm going to show you a step-by-step method that has helped students ace exams, professionals dominate presentations, and even ordinary people memorize things they thought were impossible. And here's the crazy part. Once you see how simple this system is, you'll never look at learning the same way again. Think about this for a moment. Every single one of us is born with the same brain hardware, but only a small group of people learn how to unlock it fully. Why? Because schools teach you what to learn, but never how to learn. And that's why so many people waste years memorizing the wrong way, repeating, cramming, and forgetting. But there's a shortcut, a proven set of strategies that can turn your brain into a memory machine in just one day. And by the end of this video, you'll have those exact tools in your hands. Now, let me ask you a question. How many times have you studied for hours only to forget everything the next day? Annoying, right? That's because repetition without strategy is useless. Your brain doesn't remember through force, it remembers through meaning and emotion. That's why you'll never forget your first heartbreak, but you can't remember half the things you read in school. The secret is not to fight your brain, but to work with it. And the first step is understanding the power of association. Association is your brain's natural language. When you link new information to something you already know, your memory skyrockets. Want proof? Try this. Imagine you have to remember the word elephant. Now picture an elephant sitting in your living room, wearing sunglasses, sipping a milkshake. Ridiculous, right? But guess what? Tomorrow, if someone says the word elephant, that crazy image will pop up instantly. That's association at work. And when you apply this trick to everything you study, suddenly memorization feels effortless. But association is just the beginning. The real magic happens when you combine it with visualization. Your brain is a picture-making machine. It doesn't think in boring words, it thinks in images. That's why memory champions can recite thousands of digits in a row. They don't see numbers, they see pictures. And here's the part no one tells you. You can do the exact same thing. You don't need a photographic memory. You just need the right technique to translate what you learn into vivid, unforgettable images. Now imagine this. You have a list of groceries to remember: apples, milk, bread, and eggs. Most people would write it down and hope they don't forget. But you picture a giant apple smashing into a carton of milk. The milk spills all over a loaf of bread, and suddenly eggs start hatching on top of it. Crazy? Yes. Memorable? Absolutely. That's why even tomorrow you'll still remember those 4 items without effort. But wait. There's an even faster method. It's called the memory palace. Have you heard of it? It's a technique that dates back to ancient Greece. Legend says a poet survived a building collapse and by closing his eyes could recall exactly where every person had been sitting. That's when he realized, if you place information inside a mental building, you can walk through it later and recall everything with shocking accuracy. Today, memory champions still use this trick to memorize entire decks of cards or long speeches. And the best part? You can build your own memory palace in minutes. Here's how it works. First, choose a place you know well: your home, your office, even your favorite coffee shop. Second, pick a route through it, like walking from the front door to the kitchen. Third, place each piece of information in a specific spot along that route. Want to memorize the U.S. presidents? Put George Washington at your front door, wearing a crown. John Adams is in the hallway juggling apples. Thomas Jefferson is in the kitchen cooking pasta. The sillier, the better, because the brain loves strange, unusual, emotional images. That's what makes them unforgettable. Think about it. If you can remember song lyrics from 10 years ago, why can't you remember a simple list? It's not about intelligence, it's about strategy. Songs use rhythm, repetition, and emotion. Memory palaces do the same thing, but with anything you want to memorize. And here's the kicker. Once you build your first palace, you can build as many as you need. Your brain has unlimited space. You just need to unlock it. Now, let's address a common question. Does this really work in just 24 hours? The answer is yes, if you practice it immediately. The trick is to use something called active recall. Instead of reading passively, you test yourself aggressively. That means closing the book, looking away from the screen, and forcing your brain to pull the answer out. Every time you do that, your memory gets stronger. It's like lifting weights for your brain. Do this for just one day, and you'll be shocked at how much sticks. But here's the problem. Most people never test themselves. They just reread, highlight, and hope for the best. That's like going to the gym, watching someone else lift weights, and expecting your muscles to grow. It doesn't work. Active recall does. And if you combine it with spaced repetition, reviewing information at increasing intervals, you create a bulletproof memory. That's why students who use this method consistently outperform everyone else. It's not about studying more, it's about studying smarter. Let me give you an example. Imagine you're learning a new language. Day 1, you learn 20 words. Instead of cramming them all night, you review them once in the morning, once in the afternoon, and once before bed. The next day, you test yourself again, this time only on the ones you struggled with. By the end of the week, those words are burned into your long-term memory. No stress, no endless repetition, just a smart system that works. And here's the science behind it. Every time you recall something, you strengthen the neural pathway that holds that memory. It's like walking through tall grass. The first time, it's hard, but the more you walk, the clearer the path becomes. Eventually, it's so clear you can't forget it, even if you try. That's how memory works, and once you understand it, you can hack it to memorize anything in record time. Now, let's take this even deeper. Why do we forget things so quickly? Because the brain is designed to filter out what it considers unimportant. It's a survival mechanism. But when you make information strange, emotional, or personal, the brain flags it as important and stores it longer. That's why turning facts into stories is so powerful. Stories stick, facts fade. So whenever you need to memorize something, ask yourself, how can I turn this into a story my brain will never forget? For example, if you need to remember the planets in order, don't just repeat Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. Instead, create a wild story. Mercury is running a race against Venus. Earth is the referee. Mars shows up late eating a sandwich. Jupiter crashes in like a giant bouncer. Saturn spins around with hula hoops. Uranus slips on a banana peel. And Neptune is surfing on a giant wave. Ridiculous? Yes. Memorable? Absolutely. So here's your challenge. Pick something you need to memorize right now, whether it's a list, a speech, or even a presentation. Apply these techniques today. Build your first memory palace. Turn boring facts into wild stories. Practice active recall. And tomorrow, test yourself. You'll be stunned by how much you remember. Not in weeks, not in months, but in less than 24 hours. And if you're thinking, this sounds too good to be true, let me remind you, memory champions aren't born special. They're ordinary people who learned extraordinary techniques. People like Dominic O'Brien, who won the World Memory Championship 8 times using these methods. Or students who went from failing grades to straight A's in a single semester. Or professionals who walked into presentations with 0 notes and blew their audience away. The only difference between them and you is that they took action. So let me ask you, what would you do if you could memorize anything in just one day? Would you learn a new skill faster? Master a new language? impress your boss, or finally pass that exam? The choice is yours. But here's the truth. If you don't use these techniques, you'll keep struggling with the same old methods that never worked. Cramming, forgetting, stressing. Do you really want that? Or do you want to unlock the full power of your brain, starting right now? Because the opportunity is here. You don't need more intelligence. You don't need more time. You just need the right strategy. And now you have it. So stop underestimating yourself. Stop telling yourself you have a bad memory. That's a lie. Your brain is limitless. And if you give it the right tools, it will amaze you. So here's my final message. Test these techniques today. Pick something important. Use association, visualization, and storytelling. Build your memory palace. Practice active recall. And watch how, in just 24 hours, your memory transforms. Because once you master this skill, doors will open everywhere. Knowledge will no longer feel like a burden. It will feel like a superpower. And you'll realize that the only thing standing between you and your full potential was the way you used your memory. Now the question is simple. Are you ready to unlock it?